Stop telling people you are busy. You think it makes you sound important. It actually makes you sound out of control. If hard work was the key to wealth, the donkey would be the king of the jungle. But the lion is the king. And the lion spends 20 hours a day sleeping and 4 hours hunting. You are currently operating like a donkey. You wake up, you rush, you clear your inbox, you attend meetings. You treat your day like a game of whack-a-mole. You go to bed exhausted, feeling like a martyr, but your bank account hasn't moved. Why? Because the economy does not pay you for calories burned. It pays you for decisions made. Most people use busyness as a drug. It is a form of intellectual laziness. It is easier to answer 100 emails than it is to sit in an empty room and design a strategy that renders those emails irrelevant. You are using movement to hide the fact that you have no direction. The CEO does not get paid to lay bricks. He gets paid to design the cathedral. Every minute you spend laying bricks is a minute you aren't looking at the blueprints. The thumbnail says, "Busy does not equal rich." And I need you to internalize that. If you want to operate like a billionaire, you have to realize that you are currently committing a biological crime against your own brain. You are trying to run a Ferrari on empty. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly where the fuel is leaking. Why is it that at 9 a.m. you are a genius, but by 4 p.m. you are functionally illiterate? Why do you make brilliant plans in the morning, but order Uber Eats and doom scroll at night? It's not because you lack discipline, it's because you are chemically bankrupt. You treat your brain like a generator, as if you can just push harder and create more energy. You are wrong. Your brain is a battery. You wake up with a finite amount of decision capital. Let's call it $100 of mental cash. Every time you make a choice, you pay a tax. What should I wear? That costs $5. Should I answer this text? That costs $10. What podcast should I listen to? Another $5. By the time you actually sit down to work, you have spent 40% of your budget on trivia. You are trying to build an empire on loose change. This is called decision fatigue, and the consequences are terrifying. Look at the data from parole boards. Researchers found that judges, highly trained experts, grant parole roughly 65% of the time in the morning. But by late afternoon, that number drops to nearly zero. Why? Because decision-making burns glucose. When the brain is tired, it defaults to the easiest option. No. This is why you stay poor. The amateur spends their $100 on 50 tiny decisions before noon. The CEO spends their $100 on one massive decision. That changes the trajectory of the company. The amateur thinks freedom means having more choices. The CEO knows that freedom means eliminating choices. To operate at that level, you must become a minimalist. You must automate the mundane to protect the profound. You need a routine so rigid that you never have to ask yourself, what do I do next? Because if you have to ask the question, you have already leaked the fuel. And the biggest leak in your life is happening in the first 20 minutes of your day. I want you to imagine a scenario. You wake up in your bedroom, warm and safe. You walk to your front door, unlock it, and throw it wide open. Suddenly, 100 screaming strangers run into your house. They are shouting demands. They are shoving ads in your face. They are asking for money. You would never do that in real life. But that is exactly what you do digitally, the moment you look at your phone. When you open your phone first thing in the morning, you are not checking up. You are surrendering your cognitive sovereignty. You are letting the chaos of the world invade your sanctuary before you have even brushed your teeth. And the cost is biological. Studies show that checking your phone upon waking spikes your cortisol, the stress hormone, by up to 50%. You are literally marinating your brain in anxiety before your feet touch the floor. This is called starting in response mode. You are telling your brain that other people's emergencies are more important than your mission. And here's the harsh truth. You cannot escape the rat race if you start your day like prey. Prey reacts. Predators initiate. Now, look at the billionaire routine. It isn't about ice baths. It is about input deprivation. The CEO stays offline for the first 3 hours of the day. No email, no news, no texts. Why? Because they understand a fundamental law of physics. Output must precede input. If you consume information before you create value, you are polluting your own mind. You are diluting your own vision with the noise of the market. You cannot lead the orchestra if you are busy listening to the audience. The first hour of the day is holy ground. It is the only time of day when your neurochemistry is primed for pure strategy. If you let the algorithm invade it, you have lost the war before the first shot is fired. But once you have secured the perimeter, what do you actually do with that silence? You don't work for 12 hours, you work for 4. Let's be clear about something. If you need 12 hours to finish your work, you don't have a work ethic problem. You have a strategy problem. Working 12 hours a day doesn't mean you are committed. It means you are inefficient. The CEO understands a fundamental biological truth. The human brain only has about 4 hours of genius in it per day. After 4 hours of elite cognitive focus, your decision quality collapses. You can stay at your desk for another 4 hours, but you are now operating with a degraded brain. You are making tired decisions that you will have to fix tomorrow. You aren't just being unproductive, you are actively damaging your future. This brings us to the 4-hour rule. You don't need to endure, you need to execute. Think of it like a sniper versus a machine gunner. The employee acts like a machine gunner, spraying bullets at every problem, hoping to hit something. The CEO acts like a sniper. He waits, he aims, and he takes one perfect shot that changes the entire battlefield. Employees spray, builders strike. Your goal is to identify your deep work window. For most people, this is the morning. During this 4-hour block, you are not just offline, you are emotionally unreachable. If someone can access your attention, they can hijack your trajectory. You must be locked in a psychological submarine. No phone, no music with lyrics, no quick questions. In these 4 hours, you do the things that scale. You write the copy. You build the product. You record the content. You make the strategic pivot. You do the things that are difficult, painful, and high leverage. If you do this correctly, you should be exhausted by 1 p.m. And that is okay, because you have produced more value in those 4 hours than your competitor produces in a week of distracted grinding. Stop trying to run a marathon every day. You will just end up slow and tired. Start sprinting. Give me 4 hours of ruthless clarity, and I will give you a year of progress. But how do you fit this into a real day? How do you handle the emails, the team, and the chaos without losing your mind? You need an architecture. Let's be clear about one thing. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Amateurs hope they have a good day. The CEO architects a good day. There is a fundamental identity shift you must make here. The drifter versus the architect. The drifter wakes up and asks, "What is happening today?" The architect wakes up and says, "This is what will happen today." To become the architect, you need to stop thinking in hours and start thinking in energy blocks. The billionaire routine is built on the law of inversion. Don't schedule your work around your time. Schedule your work around your biology. Here is the protocol. Block 1, the deep work block. This is where you make your money. This happens during your peak biological window, usually the first 4 hours after waking up. The rules are absolute. No phone, no email, no meetings. You are in a bunker. During this block, you execute the one thing, the single highest leverage task that moves the needle. If you answer an email during this block, you aren't just wasting time, you are burning the most expensive fuel you have on a cheap problem. Block 2, the quarantine block. Most people let the chaos of the world bleed into their entire day. The CEO quarantines it. You schedule a specific window, usually in the mid-afternoon, to handle the noise. Emails, meetings, Slack messages. These are low cognitive tasks. Do not waste your morning genius on them. Treat administrative work like toxic waste. It must be handled safely, within a containment zone, so it doesn't infect your real work. Block 3. The recovery block. This is not chilling. This is biological strategy. You cannot sprint every day if you do not recover every night. Understand this. Every hour you stay awake after 11 p.m. is a loan you are taking out on tomorrow's energy at 50% interest. If you sleep poorly, you wake up with a handicap. You are trying to win a Formula One race with a flat tire. The CEO treats sleep as a performance enhancer, not a pause button. This architecture forces you to live by design, not by default. You aren't reacting to the day. You are imposing your will upon it. The tactics are over. Now comes the conquest. Look at your calendar for tomorrow. Who wrote it? Did you write it? Or did your boss, your clients, and your notifications write it for you? Every empty slot on that calendar is territory. If you do not claim it, someone else will. Every hour you let others script for you is a piece of your empire you are giving away for free. Most people live by default. They wake up and let the day happen to them. They are passengers in a vehicle driven by the algorithm. The CEO lives by design. He scripts the day before it starts. He holds the pen. You have to understand that your time is the only asset you cannot buy back. Billionaires can buy companies. They can buy islands. But they cannot buy another hour of today. That is why they guard it with such aggression. If you want to escape the rat race, you have to stop running the maze and start building the map. Stop being busy. Busy is what you do when you are avoiding the hard work of thinking. Reclaim your morning, protect your focus, and execute the day with the precision of a surgeon, not the panic of a victim. If you are ready to stop being an employee in your own life and start being the CEO, click subscribe, start today, and in 30 days, you won't just be more productive, you will be free. Take back the pen and write your own script.